Hello everybody, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube channel. You already know who I am. I'm joined by my good fellows, Oscar, Joe. Obviously, Leeds United have lost tonight. I am buzzing, but you are my mates, and I don't want to dig it in too much. So, talk to me from a Leeds perspective, because I've moaned enough about West Ham. But what do you think went wrong tonight? Was it the press? Was it the formation or the players you played? What sort of did it for you?
A bit of everything, really. I think obviously, obviously the set pieces are the obvious ones. The set pieces is something you just got to go straight into. The way every single time West Ham had a set piece, whether it was a corner, goal, free kick near the edge of the box, it felt like you were going to score, or at the very least, force Meslier into wonder save after wonder save. And let's be honest, I think obviously West Ham, Benrahma, Bowen, Soucek, Rice, I think they all played really well tonight. I think they all really turned up. I think obviously Haller, as you're just saying off air, then I think he was our best player, to be honest, Haller tonight. Probably his worst game in the West Ham shirt, I'd imagine. I mean, he couldn't do anything right today, and I think that really helped us, because I tell you what, if Mikel Antonio had been on that pitch, that would have got nasty for us tonight. Right, seriously, that would have been 4 or 5, I reckon, tonight. No problem at all. And West Ham were just better than us on the day. Simple as that. The result was totally fair, and probably should have been by more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think for me, obviously Leeds fans are doing the nut. It's the set pieces, man. Listen, as in this Bielsa side, we're always going to concede chances from open play. But the frustrating thing is when we're not conceding from open play, we're conceding from set pieces. And something has to change in that aspect, whether we switch to zonal. I don't know. I don't know what needs to change, but something has to. Because when anyone with any sort of note is attacking, coming onto it as well, running on and attacking, we just can't seem to win a header at all. We were speaking before about the stats. The against Chelsea we won 1 of 8, and we knew that obviously West Ham have giants in that side as well, and it was always going to cause us problems. And my worry is just moving forward, what this means for us moving forward. It's glaring to see that we just can't defend from set pieces. I've seen Leeds fans in our chat saying, just buy tall players. That's not the answer. You can't just buy tall players.
Got the bid for Peter Crouch coming in January.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but obviously Robin Koch wasn't fit tonight. Llorente wasn't fit tonight. Those probably would have been your 2 first choice centre backs. So I know Cooper played, but would either of them made much of a difference had they come in
from set pieces?
Well, it's not even just that.
No, set pieces.
I said to you, didn't I? I said set pieces, and we all spoke about it. Set pieces will change the game. And West Ham was so strong at it. And when I saw Soucek for the first goal, I was like, mate, that's what he does You saw it against United, late run, bang, you can't. I thought Meslier could have possibly have saved it.
Yeah.
But again, I suppose at that angle and how quick it sort of came around. But listen, I think from open play, West Ham in the first half didn't really. Apart from Haller getting the odd chance, we didn't really create or get in behind. For me, that was the most frustrating thing. And I think possibly you might have thought, it's 1-1. We've still got a chance in this game. West Ham aren't really getting any clear-cut chances. You must have felt a bit like, if we hang on here, we can hit West Ham on the counter.
Yeah, I suppose. I think even at 2-1, we have that chance for Rodrigo late on. But I don't know. I just think, obviously, our substitutions. I mean, me and Joe disagreed with it a bit, but I thought us making 2 changes at half time kind of killed a bit of our momentum as well. Because obviously Shackleton came on, I thought he did well, but when you make 2 changes, I could sound like Phil Neville now on that one, but you've got one left. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it. You've left yourself done in there now for 45 minutes. Really, I just didn't like that. I didn't think we needed to make 2 changes at half time. I think
it didn't work as well, Oscar, right?
It didn't work either. I mean, Costa. I said Harrison. I said Costa coming on for Harrison. I didn't agree with Costa coming on, but he won't play as badly as Harrison. So I need to go on that one. To be fair, I was wrong there. That is a lad really where confidence is completely gone. I mean, Haller might have thought he was the worst player on the pitch, but then Costa came on and. It's a bit of a you ain't seen nothing yet kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, I didn't really. I mean, on our stream, we were going nuts because we were saying Moyes hasn't made a sub, and Leeds are still getting chances in behind. He needs to. And Allaire was so poor at times. We just felt like maybe if we played Bowen up front and possibly had Ben Rama trying to, just someone to stretch the play because even when Allaire was supposed to hold the ball up, he wasn't doing enough to bring in the midfield. And you brought your subs on, and we were going, oh great, here we go. Leeds are going to turn it up. That's what a proper manager does. He makes the right substitutions, and obviously. I didn't really notice it affect us, to be fair.
No.
That's the worst thing for an opposition team when you bring someone on and you realise nothing's changed. If anything, it's gone more in West Ham's favour.
I think for me, Corey, I think the glaring thing is obviously last week against Chelsea, and this is no disrespect to West Ham, but Chelsea are an unreal side. They've spent a lot of money. They've got stars throughout. So we can sort of forgive not really competing in that game. We did in the first half, not in the second half. But as a Leeds United fan, we've been so lucky to such expansive, free-flowing, sexy football. And for me, and I don't know what Oscar thinks, tonight, it was just garbage from a Leeds perspective. It was actually hard to watch, which isn't normally what you can say when you watch a Leeds United side. It was like, this is gash, this is terrible. The only thing I can liken it to is when we played in the Carling Cup against Hull, Oscar. Do you remember that game? Even against Palace and Leicester, we still created. We still had opportunities. Tonight, there's nothing of note. To be honest, we don't even deserve to have a goal. We got lucky with that. I mean, it's a penalty. We don't score from open play. It's a penalty. And yes, Fabianski came off his line, but, pre-VAR, that's not a goal, and it's and I can honestly say that West Ham could have had more and should have had more if it weren't for Meslier. I've seen Meslier get a bit of stick for this first one. But listen, even if he saves that, they still should score.
He made a brilliant save from that.
He made some worldies. And then when Calvin did the overhead kick, that was an unreal save, that one. Just not at the races. And it's a little bit worrying, I'm not going to lie, because obviously we've got Newcastle up next. Newcastle will be tough for us. Then Man United. And if we continue to, it's 1 win in 6 now for Leeds, and then you're looking over your shoulder. I think we'll be totally fine. Don't get me wrong, but just wait at the races tonight. And I thought Ben Rama was class for West Ham.
Oh my god! Yeah. I could about that. Well, the thing is, like, how many times I sat there for weeks on my prediction going, play him, and then after I go, I won't play, and then he plays. And I didn't realise how good he was. I've got to be honest. Like, I've seen clips of him, his skills but his mobility, he keeps the ball, he takes players on, he sits men down. Like, there's so many things in his play that I didn't realise he had. That now I'm starting to think we've got a real player there. We just need to use him in more advanced positions, because at times I felt like he was coming deep to pick the ball up when we really wanted him in that final third creating something. But I feel like that Allaire Ben Rama dynamic needs working on, and Allaire probably needs to make better runs in behind. But this is the problem, lads. I know we won tonight, but had we been sitting here at draw, I would have been sitting here fuming because we had so many chances. And you don't associate that with a West Ham side. But what's impressive about what Moyes has done with this, whether you play the 5 at the back or whether you go to a 4-2-3-1, we're still creating. It's just not clinical enough. Still not clinical enough.
Well, it's better to create than not create, like ourselves tonight. Really, I'd much rather, even if we got something tonight, mate, even if we just somehow won the game, I'd have still been saying the same things. It was still a shocking, 90 minutes, and we've lost games more heavily than that this season. Palace, Leicester, Chelsea, but we were miles better in every single game, other than maybe Chelsea. But Chelsea, the quality.
Yeah, but even in the first half, we were good against Chelsea.
We were good. Tonight, the high point was the first 5 minutes.
I panicked.
Afraid of those 5 minutes, we didn't even play. It was just VAR making the decision. That sums up the game for us. I said, it's been a good first 5 minutes. This, thinking, hang on a second, the ball's only been in play about 2 minutes. Yeah. I mean, that was the high point for us.
I think as well, a lot of props has to go to West Ham and the way they set up, because it was so hard for us to break them down. And what happened was they were letting the centre-backs have the ball. They were letting them bring it up to halfway, and there was no option for a pass. So the only thing we did was, right, let's hit it long. And then when we hit it long, we're up against giants, and you've got Rodrigo, you've got Rafinha trying to win the ball up against an Ogbonna. It's just not going to happen. So I think that was a definite tactic.
We've never tried this though before. It's crazy. It's crazy though. I don't know, mate. It just seems a bit bizarre. I hope we're not doing that against Newcastle. That's all I'm saying. I hope if we're doing that against Newcastle, oh man.
But this is the thing, like, you know, I spoke before when I spoke about the Chelsea game, and I said Chelsea won that midfield battle, and that's where Leeds was struggling. And I've said maybe throw another man in there, but I didn't expect West Ham to have almost a 5-man midfield at times. I think that's what did it, because probably towards those last 10 minutes when West Ham sat back, see Calvin gets the ball, sprays it, like, and you start creating a little bit more. But I feel for the most of the game, Calvin was a bit stifled. Click wasn't in the game at all. And when you take that away from Leeds, how hard is it to get that ball into the forward men to create it? It becomes impossible.
Yeah.
I think Declan Rice was, I've got to say, you know, obviously we've had that big rivalry, Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. Rice probably takes that one, probably takes that round, I've got to say, pretty comfortably. I thought he was superb. I think Souček was as well. I think those two in particular really, in terms of doing the dirty work in the field, like you always associate them with, they were superb in that respect. I think Rice carried the ball a couple of times, which you don't normally associate him with. Look, Ben Rama, I just think, was just the best player on the pitch by country mile. Yeah, I don't think anyone else really got near to his levels for either team, to be honest. Other than Haller for us, to be fair. I mean, honestly, mate, I've already said it, but if Antonio starts that game, that would have been our heaviest defeat of the season. I'm certain of that. I mean, he'd have had 2 or 3 tonight, Antonio, in terms of the space we were leaving, and in terms of Ben Rama making those runs. He has that other man making the run behind him, creating the space. It's horrendous in that situation. So that's a worry. That, you know what, because next week we take on Man United, and you got Rashford and Martial, and you're thinking, flipping heck, if we're doing that against Marcus Rashford, yeah, we've got a big problem. But I'm not worried. I think West Ham are a good team. Yeah, I think you've brought in Ben Rama, you've brought in the cream of the Championship, you've brought in obviously Souček last January. You've made some really good recruitment. You're getting the best out of Balbuena, Ogbonna, you know, players who, to be honest, before this season I thought they're not good enough for West Ham, they're not good enough for the Premier League. But fair play to them, they've both been absolutely superb. Moyes, to be fair, you know, he's kind of rebuilt his career a little bit, hasn't he, at West Ham? He's kind of showing, you know, he's kind of got Souček, I've already said it, he's playing that Fellaini role. Everyone's kind of, Creswell's is kind of Leighton Baines, he's kind of getting that kind of Everton template to it. You're a good team. You'll be top 10 for me, no question about it. So to be in the game for pretty much, we were in the game. I know even though we were poor, we were still in the game. We still had that chance with Rodrigo. I'm not too downhearted at the minute. I think it's more of a case of West Ham were very, very good tonight. And Moyes tactically spot on, you know. You said about the 5-man midfield. He just outnumbered us in that kind of area, our strongest area of the pitch, to be honest.
I did worry, because when we changed it, I thought we're not going to get our wing backs forward. We didn't. Obviously, Soufal played right back tonight and Creswell left back. And I was like, if we don't get them forward, how are we going to get deliveries in? But I just think maybe that sort of attacking three of Fornals, Ben Rama and Bowen, who all have great work rate for attacking midfielders and wingers, kind of changed it for us a little bit, because it meant we could press from the front. And I'm not used to seeing that. I expected you to have the ball for so long, eventually Bamford get a run in behind and score. And even with Rodrigo near the end, another bit of movement in behind did us. It was, I've got to admit, it worked. The system worked. I'm not sure it'll work every week. I think that's the way we might go going forward, because Masuaku's out. But yeah, definitely did the job tonight.
Yeah. Listen, yeah.
You too, man.
Yeah. No. Do you know what though? Like, I get it, because we were quite excited, like when we seen that he'd gone with the back 4. Because I know you'd mentioned pre-match and stuff. You were worried about him having to change the shape, and I think the one thing and that's the mad thing. I guess we as ex-championship just coming up this season know what Ben Rama can do, and as soon as we seen him in the lineup, we were like, oh god, you know. And I just, like you say, it was just better. I think Leeds were woeful, though. This is what I mean. We were pretty terrible. I'm guessing a lot of West Ham fans who maybe haven't seen much of us but have heard about Leeds are probably thinking, what's all the fuss about? Because they were pretty garbage, you know, and I think that has to be said. Things need to change for Leeds. I don't know how they changed or what we do, because the personnel maybe a bit, I don't know, I don't think we'll do out in January, though. I don't know what Oscar thinks. I don't think we'll do much there, because we never do under Bielsa. And Yeah, we were just devoid of ideas tonight for me. We didn't really create. We just ran out of ideas, and it was just Cooper, KP, or Ayling hitting it long. There was none of that intricacy that, on the floor, one touch, two touch, bam, bam, bam. There was none of that. It was, right, let Ayling run out. I thought Ayling played pretty decent, though, if I'm being honest. I thought he played better than Cooper, and he, coming in from right back. I do think we need a specialised left back. That's glaring for me. I don't know what Oscar thinks.
100%.
Yeah. And obviously we're missing Koch and Llorente. That's the frustrating thing. Llorente comes in for his debut, and this is what happens with Bielsa. Sometimes players aren't quite built for it, and he's picked up a muscle injury. He's been injured more than he's played, if you know what I mean. He's already injured twice this season, and he's only played one game. So do you know what I mean? Maybe it's, but I don't know.
Do you think Bielsa at some point will have to, I'm going to say, maybe change the way that he plays? Not necessarily the system, but maybe the way he plays to get results. Do you think Bielsa is someone that just abides by his principles? That's how it works. Because I think West Ham, I could see that coming from a mile off. Pack the midfield, you can make it difficult. Other teams might look at that now and say that's one of the ways to frustrate Leeds.
He won't change the principles. He had the job at Lille before. The last job he had before coming to Leeds was Lille. Lille were like bottom of the table, really struggling, and he didn't change his principles. In the end, it resulted in him losing his job. But really, the team he had there, Lille, strong defenders, strong defensive foundations, and he's one of those read up quite a bit about his time at Lille and that. Like he won't change his principles at all. I think obviously the results one thing. There's been a lot of times this season when, I think it's after the Wolves game, when Bielsa was kind of full of praise of the players and we lost the game, but that's always going to be the way Bielsa looks at it. Performances over results. If we play well, results will eventually come. If we play badly and get some results, it won't stay like that. That's just always going to be the way Bielsa looks at football. Very different kind of mindset to, say, David Moyes, for example, who I think obviously Moyes, he's not going to play that every week. He's not going to play against every team with a back four. He's going to switch to a back three. And that's what different managers do. And I think that's what you've got to appreciate about Bielsa. He will try and find the solution. I think the solution for Bielsa is always with the ball. It's not going to be a case of going more defensive. I think it's just going to be a case of try and go more attacking, try and pin you back a bit more. That's one thing we did tonight. We didn't pin West Ham back at all. We didn't pin that back four, having defended their own 6-yard box. I can't remember once when Ogbonna or Balbuena were really we really forced them out of tune and really made them do anything rash. They just were in complete control of that battle against Bamford all game. And look, Tyler Roberts came on and was shocking as well. I can kind of see why he came on though for Bamford, because Bamford was just not winning that battle in the air. Could we bring in Roberts a bit more pace?
On reflection, Oscar, does he bring Pablo on and move Rodrigo further up the pitch?
That's probably the thing he's got to do now. I think he's giving Roberts and Costa chances. Neither of them took it, especially Costa. They've had the chances now, and I'll be honest, I think Paveda will be back ahead of Costa in the pecking order now. I was a bit surprised Paveda didn't come on. I know we had a shocker against Chelsea, but it wasn't anything like that. I just think Costa's he's a good player. I still think he's a good player, but he's just not at it at the minute. If he just needs it, I think possibly even rest him from the 18, to be honest. If we had the opportunity with enough players available, but I don't think we do. But certainly not looking like someone who's going to give us a performance at the minute. I just think it's one of those things at the minute. But a lot of players are like that. I think there's when you come into the Premier League, there's always an initial honeymoon period. And I think after our first 4 or 5 games, City, Liverpool, Villa, and then we've still have some good moments as well at Everton and that lot. I think it's just we're in this league now. I think teams know what we're about a bit more. I think a lot of teams kind of underestimated us at first. I certainly don't think, say, West Ham at the start of the season, I don't think Moyes would have gone with that if he had played us on the first day of the season. I think having watched us 10 games previously, he's thought, okay, that midfield is superb. We've got to stop Phillips, Rodrigo, Click from getting on the ball, feeding the ball in dangerous areas, turning with the ball, controlling the game. I've never seen a Leeds team under Bielsa have such sort of control in the game. I think Rice, Souček, I know we didn't have a lot of the ball, but even off the ball, they just were in complete control.
That was impressive for me. Declan Rice, some of the times when the fullback would go forward, he would cover for him. Like his work rate off the ball as well as on it, and Souček's ability just to press up as well. I think credit to David Moyes, he didn't push the fullbacks on as high as I said he would, and I thought that's where you were going to get him behind. And he's showing little bits. He's showing little bits of improvement in that. And listen, I was screaming saying when he was trying to go to a back five, I was like, don't go to a back five. Don't give Leeds the ball because then they're going to create chances. We actually looked better when we were trying to press you a little bit and stifle that midfield. So it is a good result. It's a bit of another acid test for Moyes. It's another thing that he's passed and he's shown that he's got something, albeit I was screaming for the sub for Allaire.
I'll be honest, mate, I thought from minute 1 to 90, Moyes played that to almost perfection. I think to go 1 down in any away game at this level and to kind of come back like that, obviously, especially the manner of the goal as well. It was such a poor goal to concede from a West Ham point of view. It's our centre back kind of steaming through your midfield and playing it's a lovely pass. If we won that game, I tell you what, that Cooper pass is getting referred to for a couple of weeks. But I thought he played it to near perfection. I thought he timed the subs, particularly. Obviously Noble. I thought that was quite a well-timed sub. Noble came on, just sort of shored it up a little bit. I'll be honest, mate. From a Leeds point of view, there was never really a moment there where I thought West Ham showed any weakness tonight. Maybe only the finishing, but again, you can continue to create that many chances. You're not going to come up against keepers of Mellier's quality every single week. You look at that bottom four, the bottom five. The goalkeepers are chucking the ball into the net every week. Mellier has kept us in it tonight. He's kept us in it in a couple of games as well. And I just think, I think Fornals was probably the only one who I thought was a little bit quiet tonight, if I'm being honest. I think he was the only player I thought didn't really cause us problems. He should have scored as well. He should have took that chance.
Yeah, he does that, and I don't want to dig him out because we've won, but he does that nearly every other week. I think he's missed 6 big chances this season, and you just fear that in those type of games, Leeds can get something possibly at the end if something happens or we make a mistake. I would have been sitting here going, should have scored that, and we've kind of. But in fairness to this team, one thing I will say is there is a level of resolve that I haven't seen at West Ham, probably for the duration of the time I've actually seen West Ham play. Like an actual genuine grit to try and win games, even when it's not quite clicking or there's mistakes in it. There seems to be that perseverance, which is why I think we'll be pushing up that top half of the table rather than the bottom half. We're just slowly consistent, I think, at the moment and just getting the right results.
Champions League, baby.
Listen, man, I ain't talking about that. I'll take the 5th. I know what it can be like at West Ham. We could be bottom by Christmas. We don't know what's going to happen.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. In the FA Cup or a cup competition, I think you're definitely a shout in terms of the way you play. I think in the one-off games, I think against teams like, look, that Man United game, you win that probably 7 times out of 10. And they're just, I think, obviously if you're mid-table, I think you should go for the cups, to be honest. I think it's a great chance of winning a trophy. I say that any mid-table team there in the Premier League. I don't see why mid-table teams don't go for it in the cups, but that's a different matter. But if you don't make top 10, it'll be some very good teams that finish above you. I know Southampton are starting the season well, but I think Leicester have kind of slowly fallen away a little bit. I would be pretty confident you could, in terms of the teams we played this season. I don't know if Joe agrees with me. Palace, Leicester, I know they won by more goals, but certainly more impressed by West Ham in terms of all-round play, considering you had Antonio not on the pitch. Mazuaku out as well, I think obviously,
this is the
really
issue,
good
mate.
left back for me.
Yeah.
I know obviously the depth's a problem. I mean, Snodds, I'll always love Rob Snodgrass, but if he's coming on for you in games at this level, it is age now. As good as a player he has been, I think that does show a bit of a depth problem. And that might be the only thing that comes back to bite you if you do get an injury crisis.
Yeah, I am worried about that. Like that, even tonight, you see if we had Antonio in that side, the scoreline's much more comfortable than it should be. Fingers crossed, the board pull their finger out and actually get someone in January. Probably not, but I'll probably still be sitting here moaning when someone gets injured. But I'll let you go, lads. I really, really appreciate the time as ever. I know it's a tough result to take, but take home the bragging rights, and I'll see you for recording it someplace. Cheers for coming on. Take care, fellas.
Nice one, mate. Good luck.